All right, we're going to take a quick listen to this Fight Hub TV interview of Tim Bradley and just go over some of the stuff he said. It's dealing with Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, up and coming fight, but mainly dealing with Tank Davis. So let's see what he had to say.
He has great size over Tank as well, and I'm rooting for him. I want him to win because I'm not a fan of Tank. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of him.
All right, let's start right there. Fortunately, he's not doing any type of commentary for PBC or the Zone, so we don't have to worry about any biased commentary coming from him because he openly admitted he does not like the man. So we don't have to worry about a conflict of interest. But in my opinion, when you have commentary or analysts or anything like that that openly are biased when it comes to fighters, that's a problem. Especially if they have the opportunities to cover their fights. But as I said, fortunately, that won't be the case because he works for ESPN, not the Zone or PBC, Showtime, or Fox.
I'm not a fan of what he does and how the way he operates outside the ring, and I want Ryan Garcia to knock his ass out.
All right. He said something very interesting right there as well. He said he's not a fan of his. Now remember, they have a little history going back and forth. But notice he said he's not a fan of his outside of the ring. Now, I'll be honest. I can somewhat understand where he's going with that. Well, we'll see where he's going a little further in the interview, but at the same time, you can't believe everything you hear in the media. And sometimes things aren't what they seem. So, but let's see what else he has to say.
Knock him out. Sit him on his pants. Give him a rude awakening. So, I can hope, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Stylistically, there's some problems that I see that could serve Ryan Garcia up. And if he can fix these problems moving forward in this fight, then he has a damn good chance, a puncher's chance. And with his speed, his quickness, and his youth, he got a chance, no doubt about it. But he got to fix these holes first. And I'm not gonna give you that. You got a trainer. I ain't getting paid for this. You got a trainer, bro. He can tell you what it is.
Now I find that very interesting. First of all, why in the world do you keep digging in your nose, picking at your nose during the interview? That's a little nasty, but whatever. He brought up the fact that Ryan does have a good chance. Well, I think most would say that, considering his skill set. But the fact that he has that devastating left hand. But the interesting part, he said Ryan has a lot of holes, and I'm not going to give you that. I mean, Tim, dude, you're doing the interview. You're not talking to Tank Davis. He's not asking you to give him anything. So I thought that was a little peculiar. It's not like Tank Davis is the one behind the camera. So, as you said, he has trainers that I'm pretty sure that have been scoping out Ryan, not just now, but probably for years. So, I thought that was a little laughable, but let's continue.
Tank recently tweeted out some stuff about you. How personal did you take that?
It's not personal. Everybody has their opinion. It's not personal. I just don't. I don't like the guy because of that. I just don't like the guy for what I hear and what I see.
All right. I find it a little unbelievable that the stuff that he said about Tim Bradley, and the fact that he said he could take Tim Bradley, that he didn't take it personal. I find it hard to believe. Because if that's the case, why were you going back and forth with him? Why were you saying, well, the guys I beat, let's see if you could have beat them and this, that, and the third, and I find that hard to believe. And I actually liked Tim Bradley, or at least I was a big fan of his when he when he was boxing. Not quite as much as the commentary, but definitely was a fan of his. He had a lot of heart. Tim didn't have any power, but he fought like he did, which is weird because he would go to war with you, basically like fighting somebody that has a shotgun with a BB gun. But he had a pretty good chin, a lot of heart, good speed, good footwork. But he would just go out there and get in these wars from time to time, and he just didn't have the power. If he probably would have stuck to his boxing, he might have had a little bit of easier times in some of those fights. Now, other fights he did box, and he looked pretty good. But we got to remember, Timothy Bradley was a pound for pound superstar boxer. He wasn't just anybody. This dude does know what he's talking about. But at the same time, he's a little slanted when it comes to Tank. He's a little biased, and I don't care what he says. I really believe he does have big issues with Tank, not just because of the allegations we've had going on with Tank over the last couple of years, but also because Tank attacked his career.
I think he's a piece of shit. I honestly do. He's a piece of shit. You put your hand on women like that, bro. You're a piece of shit in my book, bro. You're not a man. My dad always told me, you're a coward. You do something like that. You a coward. Deep down inside, you a coward. Because you got to pick on somebody that can't even defend themselves.
All right. Now, I will say this. The situation that we saw down in Florida where they was at the basketball charity event or whatever, and Tank snatched the girl. I think that was the same woman, too. And he snatched her up and pulled her out of the gym. To me, that was unacceptable. What we have going on this time is it's not quite as clear what actually happened or what is going on. And one thing I've definitely learned from personal experience dealing with women, and also from observation, you never really know what's going on when you're talking about domestic issues unless you was there to see it face to face. And I'm not saying whether he hit the girl or not. I'm not saying whether she did this or did that. All I'm saying is plenty of black men have been considered domestic violent off of stuff that wasn't quite what you would think it was if you were there, compared to what you heard on the audio or what came out of the mouth of the woman at the time when she was upset because he wouldn't give her some money, or because whatever. He thought she was cheating, whatever. So, Tim, be careful what you say. You might have it all wrong, but, at this point, who knows?
Oh, that's not right. And I don't care about the what happened and all the whatever he's saying afterwards, and she did this and she did that. Boy, you got enough money to go buy so many toothbrushes. So you can buy a toothbrush company probably. All the money you got. Who cares? Obviously, you with the wrong one. Obviously, you did something to piss her off to do it. It takes two, not just one. Oh, look at this. Oh, she did this to me. Oh, Tank, yeah. That's great. Great job for doing what you needed to do.
All right, now, one thing he did say that I do agree with, when he said, obviously, she's not the one. Either one or two things got to happen. If this is the type of behavior from him or her, where either one, he's smacking this girl up, or she's pulling false allegations on the man and trying to get him locked up, or trying to provoke him to hit her. Women to do that too. If that is the case, they do need to separate and go their separate ways. But now, if you feel like it is something there, then you guys need some serious counseling. If that's the type of stuff that happens on a regular basis. Matter of fact, we know something's going on, because even if he did not hit her, we know the police was called. We know the house was destroyed. You know, we saw the toothbrushes, as Tim said. So, I mean, something was going on. Either way, me personally, I think they do need some counseling. But with that being said, as Tim said, maybe she just ain't the one. I can agree with that.
You know, and I'm not stupid. I listened to the video. I heard him in the back. Oh, I heard him saying some stuff in the background on the audio. So
now, me personally, I heard the audio, did a video with the audio playing. I didn't hear him say or make any noise in the background that I could identify as Tank Davis. So I'm not sure what he's talking about. Maybe he heard something that I didn't, but I didn't hear Tank in the background at all. All I heard was the woman saying she was being threatened. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. And she was just trying to go home. He's messing with my car or something to that effect. I can't remember it word for word. But I did not hear anything that made it sound like he was even on the scene outside of the stuff that she was saying. So, I don't know.
So, like, I don't appreciate that type of behavior from any man. So, you know, Tank, good fighter, but horrible person.
All right. As you heard what he said, good fighter, but horrible person. Once again, as they say, you can't judge a book by its cover. And maybe this book has been opened a little bit. We don't know. But I will say this. Once again, things aren't always what they seem. They're not always what they're seen. And that's serious when you talk about a man's character. And I'm sure if you talk to people close to him, they will say opposite of what Tim Bradley just said. They would defend Tank. Then maybe you would have other people that say maybe he is a piece of you know what. I don't know. But the point is, you don't know. I don't think he has any type of personal relationship with Tank Davis. So to make that remark, to me, is a little out of bounds. It is. Because you're on the outside looking in. And until you actually sat down, got to know the man, maybe even talk to his girl, find out what's really going on, then you're just an outsider looking in and you really don't know what you're talking about. And that's really in any situation. If you don't have both sides of the story and a clear-cut understanding of what's going on in the situation, then you're just running your mouth. I don't know. I don't like the fact that he came out and said these things. And because of that, Tank Davis might never go to ESPN. That could be detrimental to top-ranked ESPN trying to make a deal with this man if he ever does want to fight Devin Haney or a Shakur Stevenson, because they're going to want to show it on ESPN. Tim Bradley himself could impede that. And if the fights does take place and it happens to be on ESPN, they would have to exclude him from the fights because he's already said he was biased. That's pretty much all I got to say about some boxes on Fight Doctor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Was Tim Bradley out of bounds with some of the stuff he said about Tank Davis, at the very least on a professional level? And hit me up in the comment section and let me know what you think. This is Head Bustin' Boxes on Fight Doctor. I am out.